Hey, what's up, you guys? Look, I'm just re-uploading this video because the previous one had some weird like static and fuzzy stuff in the background, so I took it down and I'm gonna redo the commentary for it and re-up it. So basically, it's the same video. It's just Black Ops gameplay team deathmatch. Um, yeah, because my account in Modern Warfare 3 recently got hacked, I've just moved over and started to play some more Black Ops and stuff. But I've also been catching up on some single player games that I missed out, like Last Story and Pandora's Tower on Wii. But yeah, so basically this commentary is sort of meant to be about E3 and what I thought about it. It's not so fresh in my mind anymore though, because E3 was like a week ago now. So, but yeah, basically, it's the same sort of thing that I said before. I'll just be weighing in on the major three conferences, so Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. I'll try not to spend so much time on the Nintendo conference this time. But basically, yeah, so last week we had the pre-E3 briefing by Nintendo that started off on the Sunday. And, when I saw that, I was actually pretty pumped for the Wii U, sorry. And, I was really sort of looking forward to it because they made it look pretty cool. They showed off the Miiverse thing, which looked interesting. It was a different take, I guess, on the online thing that Sony and Microsoft are doing. Had like the typical sort of Nintendo touches to it, and it brought something new to the table, I guess. So it was pretty interesting. And of course, they showed off how the video chat and stuff works on the Wii U. What else did they show? They showed just basically all the stuff about the controller, or the so-called Wii U gamepad. And I was pretty interested, I suppose, for it. It looked pretty cool. They had even a hardcore title. Ooh, wow, a hardcore title in that little briefing. They had the Zombie U being shown. I think it was Zombie U. And it looked alright, I guess. But everything after that sort of just went down. I mean, it just sort of went downhill after that, because then we had the E3 conference, and at the E3 conference, they just sort of destroyed everything that they built up with the briefing. And really, it started all after Pikmin 3 was shown, or some people would say it actually started when Pikmin 3 was shown, because it was pretty apparent straight from the get-go that Pikmin 3 didn't look as good as it sort of should have. It was clearly not running well. You couldn't tell, but from analysis of the video following the conference, details have come out that it's not running at full 1080p. It was only running at 720p, and that it wasn't anti-aliased or anything like that, which just basically says that the console is sort of not really any more powerful than Xbox 360 or PS3, which is a bit disappointing because I was personally expecting the console to be at least sort of, let's say at least about 50% stronger than the Xbox 360 or something. I mean, personally, before E3 was even started, I actually expected the Wii U to run all games at a native 1080p, or at least 720p 60, so 60 frames per second. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It looks more like it's going to be just as powerful as an Xbox 360 or PS3. And people are saying that the reason for that is because it's got to render the second screen's output. But let's not forget that the second screen output is only running at 480p, because the resolution of the gamepad screen is only 480. So that's not that difficult to do. And typically, a lot of the time, the second screen only has like inventory or map or something like that, so it's not really using up much resources at all anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's the reason. I just think that they weren't able to put more powerful hardware in there because they want to try and keep costs down. And fair enough, I guess. But I personally don't. I mean, I don't mind if it was 720p instead of 1080. I really wouldn't mind. But what does bother me is that some of the games, or a lot of the games, will be running at 30 frames per second, and that's not good. Personally, I want every game to be 60, because I'm sick of this Wii stuff and all this, high definition stuff. Xbox 360 and PS3 current gen games are all running at like 30, not 60. It's just lame. It's 2012. By the time Wii U comes out, it'll be almost 2013. And, like, games shouldn't be running at 30 frames anymore. We're past that. I'd rather have lower graphics and higher frame rate than better graphics and lower frame rate. So anyway, so yeah, the Wii U conference, sorry, the Nintendo conference, basically started off okay, decent, I guess, with Pikmin 3. Again, it wasn't as good looking as I thought it would, but then it was all downhill from there. They just went from Pikmin 3, and then they moved on and showed some like crappy games. I mean, there wasn't any showing of Black Ops 2. When they showed off their so-called hardcore titles, they showed off like Mass Effect 3. Okay, well that sort of came out this year, so you know nobody's going to really care about that game because they've already played it. The same deal with Batman Arkham City or whatever the heck it is. That game, you know, is already out, so nobody cares. And you know, what was the other one? Assassin's Creed 3. Yeah, so basically Assassin's Creed 3 is the only one that's hardcore that's not out yet that they've shown off. And Zombie U, of course, but Zombie U, I mean, I don't think it'll be a very good game. I mean, let's have a look at Ubisoft's first-party offering for the Wii. You know, Red Steel. That game was made to look really good before the conference and all that stuff. You know, I remember when they first released screenshots of that game, it looked like a bloody Xbox 360 game. And then when it came out, it was obviously not anywhere near an Xbox 360 game. I think the same thing sort of happened here with Zombie U. And then, of course, you know, Zombie U may not even be an exclusive. It may also be coming to other consoles, according to Ubisoft. They said now that, you know, they'll see if it can become multi-platform. Obviously, they'll be looking into making it, you know, compatible with Smart Glass from Microsoft, and also the, you know, PlayStation Vita and PS3 connectivity. They could achieve sort of the same result on that as well. So, you know, it's probably not even going to be exclusive anymore anyway. So yeah, basically there are no exclusive hardcore titles for the Wii U, which is great because that means you don't need to buy it. And that's sort of my sentiment basically after the conference. You know, I went from Sunday where I was like, yeah, no, I want this thing on day one, to you know, I don't really care anymore about this because it's lame, which is a pretty big shift, you know, and it's basically, you know, a big shift in opinion that happened in probably about 48 hours. But you know, that's the kind of power that a really crappy conference has. So yeah, and you know, I love the way they ended it. It's just hilarious, wasn't it? Like they showed off Nintendo Land, and then they had like some sort of a little demo or something. They brought out that guy, and then they talked about Nintendo Land again for the second time, and then they had another conversation or something, and they started to wrap up the show. And then Reggie says, "Oh, one more thing, guys," and then lo and behold, it was Nintendo Land again, which is pretty funny. They showed off the Nintendo Land three times. That's just amazing. Especially because nobody cares about Nintendo Land, you know. But anyway, Microsoft ended it much better on theirs with Black Ops 2, which is cool. Although I still think even the Black Ops 2 gameplay wasn't all that exciting. But overall, I think the whole conference, the whole show, all the conferences put together were pretty crap. But overall, I think the Microsoft one was the best. I haven't talked about the Sony one. I don't have much time to do so, but basically I liked Beyond and The Last of Us from the Sony conference. But yeah, otherwise I think Microsoft one was the best. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, have a good day.